Hello, everyone. Maryann here from Revealing Light Tarot, Astrology, and Spirituality. Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. And I know that there are significant viewers, not just in the US, but in other parts of the world who are watching on at what's happening in the US. We're dealing with our own stuff too. But we are hoping and praying that you will have a fair election and a certified and fair result. Now, in the past, for just catching people up, I have always seen that Vice President Kamala Harris becomes the President of the United States in 2025. I have decided that I will ask the question in a specific way, because what I keep getting is there is a period between the election and when she is inaugurated that is incredibly volatile. And I want to say, I'm not going to harp on that. You all know that I've said that what I think will happen is that the states won't, red states in particular, won't certify. And you're going to have this, I guess, you could call it a constitutional crisis. I don't know how far that'll go. In any case, it will be up to the Supreme Court to sort it out. I know many of you are very, very fearful that the Supreme Court of the US, the SCOTUS, will throw it to Trump. I can tell you that's not what I see. I can tell you right now that's not what I see. And so I see after the volatility, after the chaos, if you like, he's already sowing the seeds now, because polls are now favoring Harris. And these are polls that have been manipulated to a certain extent as well with the polling averages. So you've got to find a really good poll to get a good picture of things. And there's no doubt it is close, but I'm not sure just how close it is because I don't think we're getting a true picture in the polls. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's just the facts that the GOP MAGAs flooded the polling organizations or the polling landscape with right-wing polls to distort and manipulate the polling averages that all pollsters use. That's a fact. So is this election going to be close? Well, I don't want to say that it's not and you can relax and it's going to be okay. Everybody has to vote. Everybody has a part in this. And today, when I show you the astrology, it'll become very clear why we all have a part of this, including myself. I'm going to start with the tarot today, and I'm going to give you my final prediction, and I'm going to give it to you honestly and fairly and without fear, without, I guess, favor in a way. If I could say that, without fear or favor, I'll give you my honest prediction. I have seen, of course, many, many times, for those of you who are worried that she will be president in 2025. I don't see anything to change that, at all. I do also want to say, for people who have, come on and said, oh, well, you don't want to be talking up the chaos and the volatility. I never do that. What I do is be honest with you and give you my truth as I see it clairvoyantly and through the cards. Cards are a prompt for me. My main divination ability, if you want to call it that, is clairvoyance and clairaudience to a lesser extent. So all these things come into play when I'm reading for you. So if you are stressed to the max, I just want to pause for a minute. If you are stressed to the max and you feel you're on the edge of the seat, you just want to turn off and switch off, I would say do that. Please do that if you're feeling like that. For those that are wanting to see or hear what I've got to say, you are more than welcome. For the never Trumpers and the Republicans who have stood up to be counted and are here watching this video on my channel, you are so welcome. To all my Democratic friends, thank you for your support over these long years. All right, let's get started with the program for today. We are going to simply ask the question, will Kamala Harris be the US president in 2025? And that cuts out all the need for what may go on in the middle of the election. And then I'm going to check on, will Democrats win the House? I'm going to again check on, will the Dems win the Senate? I haven't had time to look at those individual Senate races. I'm sorry. I'm only human. There's only so much I can do. But we'll revisit these predictions again one final time to see if anything has changed. Sometimes fate steps in. Now, on that, I want to say I said to you months and months ago, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, there's a couple of videos with Epstein in the title, that the Epstein stuff comes out before the election. And indeed it has. And there's more to come, viewers. There's more to come. And it is around women and the abuse of women, the alleged abuse of women. Okay, so we'll also ask, will red states certify the election? We'll also look at, Trump's plans to steal the election, will they be overturned by SCOTUS? Because I'm feeling pretty optimistic there that they won't, that they will be overturned by SCOTUS. I want to then move to a more profound question. Is this all part of a new beginning? Because I've looked at the astrology, I think it is. And what should my viewers have at this time? Should they have hope and faith? And so we'll do that. And then the second part of the video, so strap in, viewers, this is going to be pretty comprehensive. The second part of the video looks at the astrology, and my goodness me, I wanted to look at the astrology because I looked at a reading, an astrology reading by an astrologer I very much respect, and he has the opposite prediction to me. And so I thought, I'm going to go and look at the astrology and pull out the areas that I think, in an astrological sense, that I think indicates, with the benefit of context, because we've got context now, who an indication of the major themes around this election and which way it might be going and why. So we'll look at astrology in the second part, but for now we're going to pull cards. I have 2 decks. I might get more, I don't know. The Rider-Waite, let's keep it simple, and also the Morgan Greer Tarot, because it's been particularly powerful in the last few weeks for those penetrating questions. Well, there's the end there. There's the death card. That's literally the end of a cycle. And all my intuition, all my analytical, all my research, everything in a higher sense indicates that this is the end of a cycle. And thank God for that. All right, we'll start with, will Kamala Harris be president of the United States in 2025? Will Kamala Harris be president? You're going to get a Christmas present. I'm seeing Santa here. So there's, that's just going to tell you what I'm seeing. That's a good image. It's not a fearful image. And Santa is still there. Okay. Gifts may be on their way. Okay. So let's have a look at the tarot in 2025. Is it something we'll probably know by Christmas? At the end of the day, it should very much be sorted through by Christmas, December the 25th. I know all the deadlines are baked into to law. I know all of that. But they'll do their darndest to miss those deadlines. Okay, and throw it to the house. That's what they're trying to do with the delays. Question is, will it work? And I'm here to say it won't, because I see her. Let's move into her. Oh my God, she's so I don't know, commanding now. Kamala Harris. Ooh, she gets the crown. She gets the crown here. Okay. All right. So Kamala Harris, will you be, I'm glad I did that, because well, it's not easy. You do have to acknowledge there's another parallel, not a parallel, but there are other energies, and this is the ending of, I'm just going to say, Trump, and you see Harris stepping forward. So Kamala Harris, let's give this a good shuffle. Kamala Harris, Vice President, currently now Madam President. Will you be president in 2025? Will Kamala Harris be president in 2025? Tell you what's going on for me clairvoyantly. It's a difficult energy to be in. There's a lot going on at the moment energetically. And some of it's not good. We see now Trump already, given Harris has surged ahead in the polls, already trying to sow the seeds of this election was rigged in Pennsylvania, etc., etc. They have their own internal polling as well. So there's that energy, but there's also another energy of a battle well done, a battle bravely fought, and and a time in the future where we can kick back. I saw actually a caravan opened up and looking out to the sunlight with the river there in the distance, a beautiful, relaxing scene. So there will come a day when these battles are finished with. Will she be president in 2025? That's the question. That's the question that most have tripped over. They're asking about the US election. Will she win the election? Will she be inaugurated? Will she be this? Will she be? No. Let's cut to the chase. Let's move beyond those energies. Will she be president in 2025? Almost like I need to stop right now. Right now. The Wheel of Fortune and the Nine of Cups. They're the signifier cards. We have moderation, bringing all camps together, healing as the foundation, the Temperance card, Sagittarius, the Temperance card, the base of the pack. We have loss in the past. Walking away from what no longer serves us is in the past. We have the Ace of Pentacles crowning this reading, the seeds of a new start here, grounded on earth, the seeds of a new start. We have young people, but we also have bombshells and surprises happening here. At the moment, we're insecure with this Four of Pentacles. We don't want to say it's going to be a tsunami. We want to say that yes, it's close, and all of us are doing it a little bit tough. We're paranoid. These are the cards for the present energies. For the present energies. Hopes and fears. Hopes and fears. What are we fearing? That's my card for Trump. Holy dooly, Mrs. Oh gosh. The World card is the outcome card. It's a yes, by the way. It signifies the end of a major cycle and a new beginning. And a new beginning. Oh, goodness gracious me. Goodness gracious me. The outcome to the cards is yes. Yes, two major arcanas. The end of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. The base of the pack picks up the underlying energies in the situation. Thief, a thief. Overflowing emotion. Women, a period of time, the Empress card, and bravery and boldness. The stepping forward with clarity and logic and, the prosecutor, something coming to fruition in time. We will see things in a different way. That's pausing, it's sacrifice as well. And we have an inevitability that the universe is speaking. It's also the High Court. And that's one of my questions. Trump's plans to steal the election inevitably work their way up from the lower courts to the federal courts, to the appeals courts, to the High Court. And that's where you have your fear. But please, people, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. I I'm glad I'm doing astrology second, because I got to the same conclusion with astrology as well. Absolutely. She will be the president in 2025. And this energy that is very difficult for me to deal with, for you to deal with, this chaos and what comes in between then, is going to be over at some point. Okay, now let's see what else is Spirit has to say here. I just want to take a moment to thank the universe in its immense wisdom. Thank you, Spirit, in your immense creation and immense wisdom. And thank you for allowing me to be here at this time, because it is a historic time. It's a pivotal time. And it's a time where, let's not get too far ahead. There's my caution for you. Let's not get too far ahead. I can only give you the cards and what I see. I'm not right all the time, but I asked a question and I got an answer. And I have to give you my honest answer. And my honest answer is that reading shows she is the president in 2025. For better or worse, if I'm wrong, I will come on and I will tell you. I'm not infallible. Use your own intuition. Don't put it onto me. What do you think? What I see is every indication that she will be president in 2025 from that reading and from all my past readings. Okay. What do you think? Let's see. Will Dems win the House? Will the Democrat Party win the House? Will the Democrat Party win the House? Will the Democrat Party? There's momentum there for sure. Will the Democrat Party win the House? Will the Democrat Party? Let's shuffle these up. Will the Democrat Party win the House? This was the one I wasn't sure about. I don't know if I'll be sure today, but I couldn't get really strong cards at that time. But, you know, things have changed. I want to say that the last few weeks you've had a Nazi-like rally in New York. You've had Trump attempting to give, I don't even want to say it. You've seen what he did to the microphone, simulated oral sex. I mean, this is sick. Okay. Is this enough to have turned people away? Yes, it can. There are undecided voters who, over the last few weeks, are turning away from him. All right, well, is that enough to win the House? Will Democrats win the House? Will Democrats, there's an owl here, which is wisdom. Democrats win the House. Will Democrats win the House? Wisdom and age. Okay, senior citizens. That's going to be, now they are certainly in Pennsylvania turning out for Harris, but it's an underestimated, getting Republican senior citizens as well. They don't want the chaos. So that's going to be women strong, young people strong for the Democrats. But the senior citizens, Republican senior citizens, going to be a group that you'll hear about in the future. The Knight of Swords is the truth coming forward in all its glory. And then we get the bombshells and the surprises. Yeah, so, okay, it's as I thought. The last few weeks have changed people's minds, the truth emerging. And I want to say the Michael Wolff interviews with Jeffrey Epstein before he died, the reason that they weren't released before, he wasn't sitting on it. The mainstream media turned him away. The only way that he could release that is via the Daily Beast and his own podcast, Fire and Fury. So you want to hear that? It's got 100 hours. There is more to come, maybe even before the election. But the truth finally came out. Was that unfair? Was that unfair for it to come out? days before, weeks before the election? Or would you rather go to the polls not knowing that there is evidence that Trump and Epstein were very closely connected, and nefarious evidence at that? The truth has emerged. The Ace of Cups is in the past. And then we get the Hierophant. Okay, so that's interesting. This is about SCOTUS still. January 3rd, the new representatives are seated. Victory. I like that. That's in the near future. So I think you'll know pretty quickly how the down ballot races went. In the present, we have the Six of Pentacles, giving and receiving help. Remember, Obamacare threatening to repeal the Affordable Care Act. This is in the present. So there is a significant part of the electorate that are actually worried about all the threats, to take away Elon Musk's threat, to take away Social Security, to repeal the Affordable Care. This is having an impact. So we haven't even got to we have got to the Epstein part as well. The Knight of Swords in the hopes and fears, a very, very quick last minute rally. And then we get a crossroads. Wow. Okay, a crossroads, and then moderation coming here. This is the one, and the Wheel of Fortune. This is the one that's difficult to call, but your outcome cards are, we've reached a crossroads because of guardrails being down, because of everything that's going on in the US and in the world too, I might add. And it is time for moderation, and the Wheel of Fortune is change. So base of the pack, of course, the reason that it's going to be a difficult one to call is that people are actually worried about their finances. But I've laid down 4 major arcanas around the crossroads card, and they are very, very strong. Okay, so crossroads, heavy decision to make. Okay, so that's why I think that the SCOTUS is there. However, it comes out in the Democrats' favor. Temperance card, moderation and balance and healing. The Jupiter Wheel of Fortune, energy and expansion and hope. So I'm going to say you are well-founded to have hope that the Democrats take the House, because, I'm going to have put my faith in hope and say, yeah, those cards would tell me that even though the crossroads is there in the outcome, that there is something that swings the House to the Democrats. Okay. Some kind of, I think if I had to look at it analytically, their elections will be contested, the courts get involved, and the courts come down in the favor of free and fair election, and the House of Reps goes to the Dems. All right, now the Senate, I'd always had really good results when I read in will the Dems hold the Senate, but experts tell me it's the hardest one, for the Democrats to move through. I had a look at John Tester in Montana, but there are other seats that the Dems could pick up, even Aldred in Texas, and even Rick Scott might be defeated by the Dem candidate in Florida. So, and I'm not saying Tester doesn't win. If we've got a little bit of time at the end, we'll take a look at that, because it was, at the time he wasn't doing so well, but what about now? If I've got time, I'll look at that. I like John Tester. Okay, let's take a look. It's the Senate. There's one vacant chair here. The Senate. One vacant chair. Will the Dems hold the Senate? Will the Dems hold and win the Senate? Will the Dems win the Senate? Will the Democrats win the Senate? Got the Russian roulette wheel. Will the Democrats, or it can also be the Wheel of Fortune. Will the Democrats, the gambles that have been taken, will the Democrats win the Senate? Will the Democrats win the Senate? Okay, something coming to fruition in time, and the Crossroads card. So you won't know, there's something around here that those races will be appealed and contested and having to defend oneself. We get the Empress card in the past. Women, can be Russian misinformation. We get the Tower card in the sky. We get the Voter, though, in the immediate future. Something's going on here with the Senate. We get skill, the Apprentice card in the here and now, and we get the Magician manifestation of skill. So yeah, you're going to be surprised by the Senate, not necessarily in a bad way. We get a lot of anxiety here, and then the outcome card is it's a toss-up. Okay, so, but it's clarified by the King of Wands, bravery, and the Emperor card, control. And then the so whereas with the house we had it's a simpler path to victory, I think, now for the house, but we also have uh, potentially a toss-up and a very, very close race for the Senate. However, I've got good clarifying cards that maybe, I don't know, maybe that the Dems can pull it off. Okay, so remember that fate always will step in. Let's have a look. So I had really positive cards, and now I've got the Tower here. Okay, so however, there's a decision someone has to make. I don't know why I'm saying that, but anyway, but I've got good cards that they control it. All right, so can you clarify this? I need clarification on this one. Didn't need it on the House, but I need it on this one, the Senate. Can you clarify this Two of Pentacles? Two of Pentacles is weighing things up, can also be manipulation. There is a Senate race there. There is a Senate race there that may be a deciding Senate seat that they're gonna fight like hell to contest. Okay, that's what I'm saying. All right, so will the Dems, can you show me the clarifying cards? The Democrats hold the Senate. There's one one Senate race here that's going to be very important. Will the Democrats hold the Senate? Justice. Justice and the Ace of Rods, the good cards, and the three waiting. There's a wait. There's a wait to find out if they, for some reason, there's a hold up with some Senate races. But yeah, we get the Lovers card here and walking away from what no longer serves us. So the three cards that I got was there's a wait for it, goes to the courts in some way, could even be as much as 3 to 4 seats are contested. But it looks like in the end, I'm just going to say, in the end, it looks like the Dems hold the Senate. But hold on to your hats for that one. It's clearer with the House, not so clear with the Senate. But it'll be worth the wait in the end because it is cleared up. And I'm going to come down and say that I think after much battle, and particularly one particular Senate seat, the Dems could get good news. Okay, let's have a look at Trump's plans to steal the election. Let's change decks for a minute here. Got a lot to get through. Okay, the SCOTUS. Let's go right to the SCOTUS. So much controversy. We've seen so many, giving Trump immunity according to the Constitution, the presidential powers in the Constitution. So it's not absolute immunity. It's immunity for official acts, but those official acts are tied to the presidential powers in the Constitution. Okay, so Supreme Court, what are you going to do? Will the Supreme, okay. If the Supreme Court decide, if it go all, okay, let's go. All right. Will the Supreme Court rule in all its many rulings, rule fairly and honorably, if I can just say that, according to the law? Will the Supreme Court uphold a fair and free election? Will the Supreme Court support, given I see Harris as the victor, will the Supreme Court support a Harris victory? The sun's out. The light's there. So we have the Eight of Wands, and then we get this Two of Pentacles energy here. But we get the Fool card at the foundation of the reading. New starts. The heartbreak is in the past. We get the Four of Swords in the sky. Retreat, wounded in battle, that's in the sky. It's the energy that we feel now, or that my US viewers feel now regarding the Supreme Court. The what is hidden. Clarence Thomas throwing Judge Cannon a bone. Volatility, fear, chaos. Now we get the Four of Pentacles in the hopes and fears, but we get the past, okay? So insecurity in relation to the past. We know all about the past. I don't need to relitigate that. The Queen of Cups in the hopes and fears, the woman, Barrett, Coney Barrett. It's hopes and fears position. So she has a particular role to play here, and it's a good role. Outcome card is the Wheel of Fortune. It's going to be okay. The King of Rods, boldness, stepping forward, and the King of Cups, the Wisdom card. I saw the owl here before I read here. It's going to be okay. Your Supreme Court will rule, the majority anyway, will rule for a free and fair election in favour of Harris. You're going to see a lot, though. Something coming to fruition in time, worry, the Empress card, the lies, the deceit, the inevitability of those, the current energy that we're feeling. But we do have victory, we do have truth, and we do have justice. So there's a weight, but the Supreme Court, in the end, the majority, not all of them, and there'll be a reckoning to pay at the end of all of this. But I'm going to say here, I think that Harris has every chance of the trifecta. Certainly the House from those cards, presidency, the Senate. You saw the cards. I'm not going to add to my reading. Okay. I just want to just come here and pull a little, just with a little question. Should my viewers have hope and faith at this time? Should my viewers have hope and faith? Given we know what's likely to happen, given we know the chaos, given we know I've spoken about militias, I've done all the hard stuff. I've been getting pilloried at times for it, but I'll give you the truth. Given what we know, the Epstein stuff, all of that, is this the beginning of a new cycle? Is the Wheel of Fortune, Jupiter energy, very important in astrology, Jupiter. I want to talk about that in a minute. Wheel of Fortune and the Fool card, the new starts. Okay, should my viewers have hope and faith at this time? Despite everything. Victory card, Six of Wands is what I'm seeing. So we have the Death card, obviously. The sun will be in Scorpio on November the 5th, the major endings of cycles, and having to defend oneself, having to defend and I'm just going to say fight in the sense of lawful fight, to defend to bring this to a close. The voter family security is at the foundation of this reading. The past is the weight that you will have to go through, but that's in the past. Should they have faith? The covenant, the security, two people coming together, the unity. You have in America a very good story to tell. Yes, the guardrails fell. Yes, the guardrails have fallen over a long period of time. But now in a minute, when I talk about the astrology, you'll see why I think Harris also in an astrological sense is a winner. Okay, it's time to put things back together. The King of Swords, planning and strategizing. You've done all that. You've done all the good work. I've seen many, many volunteers here. Many, many never Trumpers, many, white dudes for Harris. I just could go on and on. It's a really positive, optimistic, future-oriented energy. Having everything you need. Okay, so understanding the atmosphere is insecurity, fear, and that can be very hard to break through. So we have the Page of Wands, young people in the hopes and fears, new starts. And then we have building back up with skill. In Kamala Harris's astrology, she wasn't this time in history has made her what she is. And this is the skill set, the building back up, and then wish fulfillment, dreams being fulfilled, the ending of a cycle, the end of who, the downfall of Trump. All those people that get on my channel saying, la, 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 come back and see me at the election time. Yep, okay, yada, yada. The truth has emerged. Okay, and it's scared us. I don't underestimate that. But now's the time to be strong, to step forward and be strong. And I know that you are. All right, let's go to the astrology. They're my final calls on it. Actually, before I put the cards away, I just want to see John Tester. Gosh, wouldn't that be nice if he comes through? John Tester, Montana, what can you show me? I'm not going to gild the lily. I'll tell you what I see. So two halves of a mirror broken in two. They're coming back together. They're rejoining to the full mirror. So I'm hoping that's a good omen, that the energies have changed, but I don't know. John Tester, are you going to be okay? Is John Tester going to win in Montana? John Tester, are you going to win? Are you going to win in Montana? On Tester, they know what they're getting with Tester. Are you going to win in Montana? Are you going to win? Again, senior, older people will make a difference here. Okay. Justice card, balancing the scales and moderation. Nice signifier cards. Good signifier cards. Three people, Three of Pentacles can also, that's coming together to build something. King of Pentacles is in the past. I'm liking this energy. The Sword of Truth, the Ace of Swords, is in the sky, crowning this reading. Immediate future, though, we have the endings. We have the Nine of Pentacles. I understand his rival has got quite a bit of money, but I do have the Victory card in the atmosphere around. I have things moving very, very quickly. And then we have the Lover's card. The Lover's card and the King of Swords and the Page of Swords. Okay, so it's a tough one. I'm not going to call it completely out right now. I'm going to ask for a clarifier. Because the Lover's card is the Gemini card, also the card for the Trump cult. But we also have practical strategy, wisdom, the truth on coming through here as well. Can you be very clear? There's a truth coming here. Truth coming out that may influence things in the days before the election. Is John Tester. Can you clarify very clearly for me, win or lose? Does John Tester win in Montana? Page of Swords, and the Victory card, and the Death card. Yeah, I'm not going to call this, but we get the Eight of Pentacles coming through again. Maybe he pulls it out of a hat at the last minute, because there we see Temperance. And again, I see the elderly people in Montana going for Tester. So I'm not going to let you down and say that he won't win, because I see some indications, some good positive indications that he may. Let's just wish him all the best. All the best luck, John Tester. All the best in your race. And look at those senior sits in Montana as well. Okay. Let's take a look now, putting the cards away and to the astrology. For those that don't want to stay for the astrology, I know this is a long reading, but this is important stuff, is it not? I'll keep my cards out just in case I need them. I don't think I will. I will have some coffee. Decaf coffee. I'm going to go through this reasonably quickly. I'm only going to do the headliner stuff, and I'll be as explanatory as I can, but understand that, yeah, I want to just draw out the headlines. I've been studying astrology now for six going on 7 years, and there's more work for me to do. But I have the benefit of intuition. I have the benefit of looking at a chart like a puzzle and going and looking at perhaps areas that are jumping out to me. And so all astrologers will read things differently. That's why some very, very good astrologers are predicting a Trump win. Some are predicting a Harris win. I'm just going to give you the indications. I'm not going to predict. I did that with the cards. I'm going to just give you the indications of why I think astrology supports my card reading. Okay, let's get going, my people. All right, so we're going to go to Harris first. I wish I knew how to make me bigger, but I have a free Zoom plan, so I don't know how to get me sitting beside the chart. So bear with me here. I know some of you are going to look at this and go, oh, gosh, look at that. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so the first thing that I want to start off here is the transiting and natal planets are forming a grand cross, a cardinal grand cross in her chart. So the chart I've said is for Kamala Harris. She was born on the 20th of October 1964 in Oakland, California, and I've set this on the 5th of November at 9:30 p.m. over Washington, D.C. Why did I do that? Well, 5th of November, election day, 9:30 p.m. It's late enough in the night to get a good look at how things are going. Washington, D.C., the seat of the US government. That's where she's currently as the vice president living as well. So we have here a grand cardinal cross, very rare thing. It's made from her natal moon, transiting Pluto, her natal sun, and transiting Mars, all extremely important planets. But a grand cross is rare, as I said, and it's indicative of incredible challenges. Think about what she's had to do in such a short time. And if those challenges are met, you get incredible success. She almost, at this time, she stepped forward and become a leader, because these cardinal signs indicate leadership. So difficult, yes. Challenging, yes. Incredibly challenging. What she's had to do has been incredibly challenging. And some astrologers would look at that and go, no, it's too much of a challenge. However, I look at that and think this has been the making of her. All right. Jupiter almost very nearing the ascendant. Okay. Jupiter is the benefic planet of expansion. And this is really almost on her ascendant in Gemini. And then you go down to her natal. That's transiting Jupiter, by the way. Red is transiting, blue is her natal. You go down to the natal north node in her first house, again in Gemini. Gemini, the ability to see both sides, the ability to, balance things up, make decisions, quick decisions, competent. Many leaders are Geminis. And so we see the North Node in her first house with Jupiter on her ascendant. I really, really like that. That's very strong for me. Now, I want to say she has her sun in Cardinal Libra. Again, the sign of leadership. Sun and Libra, it's can often be found in leaders. It's a sign of justice. It's a sign of balancing the scales. They're very close to her Mercury in Scorpio, the sting in the tail. This is a woman where she knows what she's doing, and she's able to, when she's rising to the occasion, really you see the prosecutor here and deliver the final knockout punch here. That's why she was successful in prosecuting, why she was successful as an AG, why she was successful presiding over the Senate, but also her term as a senator, incredibly penetrating in her communication when it comes to justice. You only had to see the way she questioned Kavanaugh and Bill Barr to know what she's capable of. Now, here's the context I want to put into the astrology. The guardrails in America and perhaps other places have fallen. You cannot have a situation like Trump who's evaded justice thus far, who has even supporters here in Australia who can't see through the Epstein connections, liable for rape, etc., to stand again after what he did on January the 6th, to take a significant part of the American public with him. The guardrails have fallen in so many ways, but that's for another reading. Here she comes as the prosecutor, the former AG, the former senator, the former vice president, with her sun in Libra and a Mercury in Scorpio, to do some cleaning up. She's risen to the occasion and she's there at the right time, in the right place. I'll go up to her Saturn in Aquarius here in the 9th house of law, of higher ideals, of philosophy, of logic. She knows she has to do the hard work. Aquarius, when Pluto moves into Aquarius, Aquarius is a sign of the collective. What is she? There's a bunch of service indicated with a Pluto, Uranus, and Venus natal in Virgo, the sign of service to others. And there's a bunch of that. And she instinctively knows what she has to do, and she knows that it's not going to be easy. But it seems we have this. No, well, I'll keep going in the order that I want to. We won't get to that square just yet. We have her Mars in Leo, determined action. Sorry, not her Mars in Leo. Yes, her Mars in Leo. Her Mars in Leo, determined action is here. It's trining, transiting Jupiter. Oh, here's the blue line. The flow is there to her, Jupiter on her ascendant coming into a north node. Mars in Leo, determined action. Determined action. To what? To bring something to a close. Transiting Mars is just in Leo as well. And it is part of this grand trine coming up here to her moon in Aries. What a strong placement. Moon in Aries in the 11th house, the house of the collective, us. What's she putting her and women as well, taking action on behalf of women. Determination, part of this grand cross, this situation, this point of time, this fate, that the hand that has been dealt to her to defend women's rights. So we have, where's the transiting moon? Yep, I'm going to come over here. I hope you can see the cross cursor here to the 7th house. The moon in Capricorn hitting her 7th house of partnerships. Who are the partnerships with? Women. And if people don't really believe in universal law, in universal energy, in divine energy, in the universal faith, faith that the lessons will be delivered and by some learnt, then look at, she is the prosecutor going to battle for women and the men that love them and the people that need their freedom, that feel in their hearts that her way is the way of freedom. She's going into battle with someone who has been found liable for rape, who is connected allegedly with Jeffrey Epstein, the child sexual abuser and rapist, who was to stand trial and was offed in prison. Perhaps we'll get to that after the election, because there's more to come out on Epstein yet. The man who's philandered, who grabs women by the, you name it, the abuser of women, 7th house, who are partnering with Harris? Women. Okay, wise Pallas Athena, let's see, is in her 6th house. She's gave wisdom to good counsel to the generals on the battlefield, wise counsel. Pallas Athena is in her 6th house in Sagittarius, the sign of the law. Here, she's been given almost help in her chart, and we'll see here Pallas Athena being almost well, it's not conjunct, but it's transiting. Pallas Athena is in the same house as her natal Pallas Athena, and Venus is there as well. And so this is the Venus, the North Star, shining very brightly on her. It's almost like in the obstacles, she's got this kind of help from the goddesses, the asteroids. Okay, I want to briefly talk about Deianira. For those, she's just here. For those that don't know the myth about Deianira, she was raped by the centaur Nessu, and she was Hercules' wife. And so she appears in an astrology chart to look at where victims of abuse. And we see this here in Harris's sixth house of obstacles, but also public service. Obstacles, challenges, but public service. And Mercury, transiting Mercury, is there, highlighting the ways in which women have abused. If you haven't heard her talk about the women dying in emergency room because of Roe v. Wade was overturned, if you don't think that she's not sincere, if you think that she's not being sincere, think again. She absolutely is. Sun in Scorpio in the 5th house. Now, the 5th house is holding her natal Sun and Mercury. Sun in Libra, of course, Mercury in Scorpio. And so we see here justice and endings and beginnings being symbolized by the Sun in Scorpio. Want to come briefly up to her moon in Aries in the 11th house of all of us. And she's channeling those emotions. Act now, turn the page. And we have Hygeia, the asteroid that we associate with health or ill health. What's ill in the collective at this time? Aries is a sign of action, healing the collective. The Dayanara, transiting Dayanara, of course, is in Taurus here, in the collective. Women, abuse of women, abused women, what's happened to women as a result of the overturning of Roe v. Wade, women under attack, women losing their freedoms and their rights, women being oppressed. The attacks have been very strong on women. You have to believe that. You have to believe that. And this is a very, very, very momentous time. Now, I want to get to Trump now. A lot of the astrologers say, well, she's got nothing much in the 10th house, which is career, public image, career, nothing much in the 10th house. But she has Chiron, the wounded healer, and it's opposing her Pluto, Uranus, Venus in the 4th house of home and family and roots, but also home country. She understands where the battle lines are drawn, where the difficulties are. And so she is a sum total of her chart, not what's in the 10th house. And she's prepared to do the work. There's Saturn, and then sitting alongside Saturn is Nesu, the abuser. Nesu raped Dayanara. She is here to do the work. For who? For women, for her country, for her home country. The service aspect of her down here in the fourth house of and Virgo, service to others, service to her country. The indications that expect the unexpected, including in this election, in terms of what we know is going to happen, the chaos being sown, is here in the Algol Uranus conjunction in the transit, and it's hitting her Jupiter and her Algol as well. But she's well prepared to take action with her natal Mars in Leo. Well prepared to take action. So expect the unexpected, but, and I'm not going to say I'm going to predict, I'm just going to say that this chart tells me that she will rise to the occasion. She is fated. She's living in a fated time. And so you can see what's been the making of her. All right, now let's go to the astrology of Trump. How did I do that? Let me go. Hang on, let me go get rid of that. Let me go there. Let me go here. Okay. All righty. Trump. Astrologers go straight to his 10th house of career. And Jupiter, the planet of expansion and the great benefic, is hitting his natal sun. And that's enough for them. And they go, right, he's going to win. That's an incredibly strong placement. But I'm going to tell you, here are the indications, according to me, as to why I don't think he's going to win astrologically as well. Okay, so we get Uranus straight up here. Uranus and Algol in the 10th house. Expect the unexpected. What's that doing? It is squaring his natal Mars in the 12th house. Squaring it. Huge challenges. The 12th house is the house of endings. Can be restrictions. Can also be prison. It can be hidden enemies, and he's got plenty of those. It's the unseen realm of can be self-undoing. Hostility with that Mars in the 12th house. Uncontrollable blasting, anger. Can also be illness. He can be confronted with his own weaknesses. And the lesson with natal Mars there in Leo, and we have the Uranus Algol there. If you learn the lessons, you can emerge stronger. If you don't, it's the end. If you don't learn the lessons, it's the end. And so I see that as a major flag. A major flag. Transiting Uranus Algol, sitting on his 10th house, squaring his natal Mars in the 12th house. Major flag, trouble ahead for him. Let's go to his moon. Just to add insult to injury, Jupiter is also here with Dayanara, the victim, the person who was raped by Nesu. Jupiter's expanding on that as well. Abuse of women. And the opposition here down to his natal moon in Sagittarius, women. Pallas Athena and Venus in Sagittarius. What could be his undoing? Women. Women voting like their lives depend upon it. They are formidable, the women in the US. Formidable. But you can see this opposition here. You're not going to have your way. You're not going to have your way. And you know, Trump is as much, I don't want to labor this point too much, but in my last reading, I saw that he is like he is because of the way he was raised and the choices he's made. But he's had multiple opportunities to correct that and learn the lessons. And so now women are going to defeat him. The very people he has allegedly abused, found liable for rape, so it's not so much alleged, is it, are going to be what brings him down. He's going to lose to a woman as well. Okay. Black Moon Lilith. I wanted to talk about Black Moon Lilith here. I think I'll go to transiting Black Moon Lilith in Libra. That's the dark feminine energy, the primal instincts, its independence, potential challenges. Trump is going to have potential challenges relating to fear, anger, and rejection. And guess where Black Moon Lilith is? Sitting on his natal Jupiter. Chiron, the wound. And that is opposite, guess what? His midheaven and the North Node. Trump, this chart screams to me, Trump has not learnt the lesson. Okay, I want to go to transiting Mars in the 12th house here, opposing Pluto. Pluto on the cusp of his 6th house can be obstacles, challenges, ill health. He is a part of the Pluto and Capricorn transition to Aquarius, the collective. But Mars in the 12th house, transiting Mars in the 12th house, the same as his natal Mars. It's the ending of something, the ending of a cycle. Close to his IC, we see his IC is the bottom of the chart. It's his early life, his roots, like the roots of a tree. We see Sun in Scorpio, again, ending, squaring his natal Pluto. Not good. And we also see Eros, desires, can be sexual desires, and Mercury sitting on his Black Moon Lilith. We're hearing this whole Epstein stuff. Okay, I could go on and on, but I do want to say Chiron, the wounded healer. Transiting Chiron is conjunct his Hygeia, sickness of the mind. Transiting Hygeia is in the 9th house, again, sickness of the mind. We have Dayanara, transiting Dayanara, hitting Nesu, the abuser, Eros, sexual desires. The Epstein stuff was always coming out. Okay. Saturn, transiting Saturn in Pisces, open enemies, Nesu, the abuser. What's on his AC? I'll just finish because this is getting long and I'm getting tired. Saturn is on his ascendant. Saturn is on his ascendant. and it is opposing Pluto in Capricorn, the end of a cycle for Trump. All right, that's what I've got for you. My divination, my best clairvoyance, my best divination given to you says Harris will be president in 2025. There's good reason to hope. They say it's a close election. We'll see. We'll see. You know what's coming, and you know it's the right thing to do, to have faith and hope. And I've given you my analysis and my divination. Let's see if I'm right or wrong. It's over to you now, the voter, and it's over to you to use your own intuition to decide whether you should have faith and hope in the future. Okay, bye for now.